Let's go to Emmanuel Cleaver, Missouri congressman, who was on National Panhandler Radio. Defund NPR, defund NPR, defund NPR. See, I would actually, PBS will fund itself. PBS will get its donations when the federal government decides we're not funding this stuff anymore. Because PBS does a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with politics that a lot of people like. NPR should just go up in flames. It's not journalism, no matter what they tell you. And that's fine, but just own what you are, right? Like own your lane. Don't tell us that you're something you're not. And maybe some people like to burn their money. And you know what? More power to them.
I'm not worth your Red Lobster money?
No. They're not. But anyway, Cleaver goes on NPR here in town yesterday, and they wrote about this over at KCUR. Missouri residents have spoken up about how President Donald Trump's aggressive federal workforce cuts and tariffs have hurt the region. Aggressive workforce cuts? You mean the 100 people that got apparently let go? 100 people that got let go after rumors of 1,000 from the IRS here in Kansas City? Come on now. Are you kidding me? U.S. Representative Emmanuel Cleaver said there's little Democrats can do in Congress, but that protests remain a powerful tool for pushing back against the government. Now, I'm all about First Amendment, free speech, you do you, right? But it does come a point where these protests, I mean, every Monday morning, I feel like for the last 4 weeks, I've kicked off the show at 6:05 in the morning talking about how we had another protest on the plaza, and John wasn't there because he didn't have something to wear.
Yeah, nothing.
It's like every week we're starting the show off that way on Monday mornings.
I can't keep up.
I know, me neither. So there does come a point of diminishing returns here in all this, where if you're doing too much of it, you're just the boy who cried wolf. No one takes you seriously. Every single day, it seems like we're coming in here and there's, oh, yeah, this protest downtown and this protest on the plaza and this protest from this group here and there and everything else. And it's like, I can't keep up. But here's why Cleaver and others want more protesting. The reason that Cleaver and others want more protesting is because it gives them opportunities to say stuff like this.
You mustard moo.
Okay, I'm kidding. That's not the real reason. The real reason that they like this protest stuff is because they know the media will cover it. It will create this narrative that, oh, man, the people are definitely turning on everything Trump is doing. And then you try to trick people who may not be paying attention into thinking, well, I don't want to be on the wrong side of this, right? It's all just a made-up narrative that is intended to create enthusiasm from voters who could be paying attention to other things about their causes. That's what it does. That's it. That's the goal here. And that's why Cleaver is telling KCUR to get back out into the streets and protest. And protest more and protest more. And then when you're done protesting, make sure you protest even more. So yesterday, you had some protests outside of the IRS building. It's tax day yesterday, right? So somebody apparently thought it was a smart idea at the IRS to protest on tax day. Maybe the one day a year when nobody is going to be sympathetic to the IRS. I mean, I'm not sympathetic to the IRS 365 days a year and 366 in leap years, but that's just me. If there's a day when most Americans are like, you know what, I'm not really a big fan of the IRS, it's yesterday. And they thought the way to garner sympathy would be to protest on tax day. I mean, just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And here's some of the reporting from Fox 4.
We're working 7 days a week in this building to get returns processed.
Well, you're not working right now. It's tax day. Oh, we're working 7 days a week. I don't know. You got time to stand on the street corner and talk to the news and scream about layoffs that aren't happening.
So that American people can get their refunds, it's going to impact that because we're hearing that any day now they're going to start reducing more people forcefully from the building.
IRS employees and
forcefully?
Yeah, how about that
forcefully?
Added in there?
Oh, my goodness. We're all going to the prison in El Salvador. That's where they're sending us after we get fired. I mean, yeah, They're going to be dragging you out, kicking and screaming.
Leg irons.
I mean, this is absurd. This narrative is absurd. 100 people have lost their jobs. Yes, I don't want anybody to lose their job. I want all of us to work and be happy and collect paychecks and, be able to support our families. I want that for every Kansas Citian, and so do you. So do you. I know that you want that. I want that. But this idea that if you don't keep your job with the IRS, you'll never be able to get another one ever again. This notion that we cover potential layoffs, not even layoffs, they have covered potential layoffs at the IRS more than they've covered actual layoffs that have happened around this town over the last, decade. Think about this. The story here is that layoffs there's no story here. The story here is the IRS workers are a bunch of whiny B words. That's the story.
Journalism used to be who, what, when, where. Now it's just woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Kansas City were impacted by the mass layoffs from the Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency.
What we're trying to do is show up and just remind the American people and the people in Washington that we are real people. There's a proper way.
Bro, let me help you. Okay? Standing on the street corner saying, we just want to remind people that we're real people. As opposed to what? Ken dolls? I mean, you're kind of like a Ken doll because it seems like, your man parts were chopped off with the way you're whining. But man, what is this?
To reduce the size of government, and it's not being used.
The Chapter 66 National Treasury Employees Union has held similar rallies in support of federal employees since layoffs were announced in February.
For many, many years, government jobs were considered very stable and good jobs. And now it's been revealed to us that our jobs are not as stable as we thought. And so there's just a high level of anxiety all the time here.
Can we define stable? Government jobs are still the most stable in the country by a mile compared to the private sector. But if your definition of a stable job is I should have this job forever and no one can ever get laid off, that's not stable. That's called a forever bureaucrat. That's the problem with the system. Yeah.
There used to be a time in America where one income could support a household. Would we want to go back and make America great again? No.
Nah, can't do that, man.
Don't think too far.
No. We got to keep that government spending money pit getting filled up here. That's what we got to do. This notion that now government work is, it is just in flux. Okay, it wasn't intended to be a place that you go, get to work for 40 years, and never have a chance to lose your job. Tell me where else that exists in the real world, in the private sector. It doesn't exist. Why should it exist in government? It is still very stable. It is just going through what it needs to go through because it's gotten too big, too bloated, and we can't afford it. That's it. It's really as simple as that. It's not about any one person, one worker, one group of workers. You can't afford it. In the private sector, it doesn't matter where you're at. In the nonprofit world, right? I mean, they deal with this. Churches deal with this. The money's not coming in. Decisions have to be made. But the minute you bring up this concept with the government, it's, oh my goodness, how are we going to survive? And yes,
how dare you?
And that, in and of itself, is just patently absurd. 913-408-7957. Let's go to Lynn and Kearney. Hey, Lynn, you're on KCMO. Good morning.
Hi, Pete. I decided after watching this on the news last night, I wanted to look up how many employees there were for the IRS in Kansas City. 6,000.
Mm-hmm.
How many were laid off? 100. Which comes to 1.67% of the employees were laid off. It's nothing, and the rest of them were outside protesting instead of doing their job.
Yeah, I mean, some of us are waiting on a refund still,
Yeah, well, it's just that it's a very, very small percentage.
Yeah.
When you listen to them, you would think 20 or 30% of them were laid off, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, 1.6%. Tell me you haven't experienced the real world without telling me you haven't experienced the real world. We lost 1% of our employees. If a business that was 100 people deep had one full-time person fired and a part-timer fired, nobody would bat an eye. At the federal government, it's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do?
It's a crisis.
Yes.
That's all I have for you.
Thank you.
I thought that was interesting.
Excellent job. Good math there, Lynn. You're on it. I love it. And you know what? To Lynn's point,
the issue is they're not whacking enough.
They're not. 913-408-7957. It's 8:18. Good morning. Glad you're here on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7 FM.